Today we will talk about verses 26 to 30 of Surah Al-Baqarah and we'll also see why did the Quran give the example of something as insignificant as a mosquito. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna Allah la yastahyi an yazriba masalam ma ba'uzatan fama fawqaha فأما الذين آمنوا فيعلمون أنه الحق من ربهم وأما الذين كفروا فيقولون ماذا أراد الله بهذا مثلا يضل به كثيرا ويهدي به كثيرا وما يضل به إلا الفاسقين. Surely Allah does not shy away from making an example, even of an act or something more insignificant than it. As for those who believe, they know that it is the truth from their Lord, but those who denied the truth say, what does Allah mean by this analogy? Allah misleads many and guides many from such examples, but He misleads none except the defiantly disobedient. An objection is addressed here without being directly stated. Some argued that if the Quran was truly from Allah, it would not use examples involving small and seemingly insignificant creatures such as gnats, spiders, ants, or bees. Those who are unwilling to seek the truth become preoccupied with the literal wording of such parables. They misinterpret them and stray further from guidance because of their bias and inner corruption. In contrast, sincere seekers of truth reflect upon the wisdom behind these examples. With insight, they recognize that such profound meanings can only come from Allah. الذين ينقضون عهد الله من بعد ميثاقه ويقطعون ما أمر الله به أن يوصل ويفسدون في الأرض أولئك هم الخاسرون. Those who violate Allah's covenant after firmly establishing it, sever what Allah has commanded to be joined, that is, the relations, and spread corruption in the land, it is they who are the true losers. In Arabic usage, the term ahad refers to binding commands or directives issued by a ruler to his subjects. In this verse, it signifies Allah's enduring command to humanity to submit to Him, obey Him, and worship Him alone. It also refers to the covenant taken from all humankind at the time of Adam's creation, when they agreed to acknowledge and submit to Allah. The verse further condemns those who sever the relationships that Allah has commanded to be maintained. The phrase breaking off relations has a broad meaning encompassing everything from personal relationships to international ties. It includes not only outright severance but also the misuse and corruption of relationships. When relationships are not upheld properly, the result is chaos, conflict, and disorder. Thus, the Quran strongly condemns both violating and abusing them. كيف تكفرون بالله وكنتم أمواتا فأحياكم ثم يميتكم ثم يحييكم ثم إليه ترجعون. How can you deny Allah even though you were lifeless and He vivified you? Then He will cause you to die, then bring you to life again, and then to Him you will be returned. هو الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا ثم استوى إلى السماء فسواهن سبع سماوات وهو بكل شيء عليم. He is the one who created everything on the earth for you. Then he turned towards the heaven, forming it into seven heavens, and he is the omniscient. The exact meaning of seven heavens is not easy to determine. Throughout history, people have developed different theories about the structure of the heavens and outer space based on observation and speculation. And these theories have constantly changed. Therefore, it would be incorrect to link any specific scientific theory to the Quranic reference to seven heavens. When the verse concludes by describing Allah as the All Knowing, it serves as a warning and a reminder. First, people should not adopt disbelief or rebellion against Allah, since nothing they do is hidden from Him. Second, Allah alone is the true source of knowledge. Anyone who turns away from him inevitably falls into ignorance and confusion. وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً قَالُوا أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَن يُفْسِدُ فِيهَا وَيَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاءَ وَنَحْنُ نُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِكَ وَنُقَدِّسُ لَكَ قَالَ إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. And remember when your Lord said to the angels, Indeed, I am going to appoint a vicegerent on the earth. They humbly inquired, Will you place in it someone who will cause disorder and shed blood, while we declare your praise and sanctify you? He, Allah said, Indeed, I know what you do not know. Earlier verses call humanity to submit to Allah because He is the creator, sustainer, master, and ruler of life and the universe. Here, submission is urged for another reason. Humanity has been appointed as Allah's vicegerent or Khalifa on earth. As Allah's representative, human beings are not only required to worship Him but also to live according to the guidance He has revealed. If they instead follow Satan, their declared enemy, they commit a grave act of rebellion and face serious consequences. This passage also clarifies humanity's true position in the universe and presents an account of human origins and purpose that cannot be discovered through speculation alone. When Allah informed the angels of His plan, the term angel, malak, literally means messenger. Angels are not abstract forces but personal beings who serve as agents of Allah in administering His creation. Some people wrongly regarded them as divine partners or objects of worship. The word Khalifa, vicegerent, refers to one who exercises delegated authority on behalf of another. A vicegerent is not the ultimate master, he acts under the authority of the true master. His powers are entrusted to him and he must use them according to the will of the one who appointed him. To misuse that authority, act independently of the master's will, or submit to another authority would be a betrayal. When the angels asked whether Allah would place on earth one who would cause corruption and shed blood, they were not objecting, rather, they were seeking understanding. From the term Khalifa, they understood that this new being would be granted a degree of autonomy. They could not fully comprehend how a creature with independent choice would function within the perfectly ordered system of the universe, nor how disorder might be avoided. When they said, While we glorify and sanctify you, they were not claiming superiority or seeking the role for themselves. They meant that they already carry out Allah's commands faithfully, maintain order in the universe, and glorify Him constantly. They wondered what additional purpose required the creation of a vicegerent. Allah's reply, I know what you do not know, answered their doubt. The angels could not grasp the full wisdom behind this decision. Their role, though essential, did not fulfill the broader purpose Allah intended. Therefore, He would create a being on earth and grant him specific delegated powers to accomplish that greater purpose.